Okay. 13th time we're playing through. A little bit of a recap. We still have these 3 castles. I really like the positioning of these castles. Um, we did a campaign to push into a little bit more eastern. We tried to take the town of Rote. That didn't go well. We lost the entire army. Soon after, pretty much almost everyone declared war on us. I had enough influence just to be able to pay them off. So now we still have some clans. Yeah, we still have some clans in our stuff. We got pretty good slapped around a little bit. So right now, what we're gonna do, I've committed every single one of my commanders to run a caravan. We are going back to Merchant Empire. I will pay people off to leave me alone. Um, we are just going to be building cash and building back the forces that we lost. We are in rebuild mode, and hopefully we'll keep everyone off our back a little bit so we can build up cash, recruit more lords, and start taking these castles again. And and then we also be focusing on just making sure this doesn't go up any farther. If that goes up to 2,000, we lose. Um, but it's the name of the game right now. Yeah, I really would like to take this town, this town. I think we're in a really good position. I don't know what they're doing over here, but it's just mass chaos. Are the blues still? No, they got taken. They only have Sturgians, and I'm paying them. Oh my god, it's not much, but it's dumb. Well, yeah, when we get our strength back, we're just gonna stay at war with them and just send people to go kill them in the field and just slaughter them. Like, I'm done with those guys. Okay, but from now on, we will be just building up. The name of the game. Do you have some Asmongold? Um, he's talking about the WoW hardcore stuff. If you've seen my other streams, we know we like. Uh, we're a big WoW player. We do some hardcore. We played some hardcore, but kind of hot. It can get kind of annoying with different people. But oh, perfect. Oh. Do it up.
Being griefed is not the player's fault. Even if they can mitigate its damage. Okay, why can't they allow appeals? Because I don't think Blizzard has the resources to do that on a large scale. So, I think this is obviously... you should be able to appeal a grief if...
No.
No matter... Actually, no matter the circumstance.
Jesus, no
If
war.
the evidence
You guys are nuts.
provided is substantial Enough. So these are the things that I think. Okay? It's that simple. How do griefers stand trial? How are they convicted? Well, the people that run it make a decision, and then that's it. If they're seriously publicly punished for griefing, then they could handle the appeals maybe? Yeah, but that's not really going to happen. You can't know for sure if he griefed. Let me give you a little bit of a surprise. In every single court case that's ever happened, nobody knows for sure that people are guilty. 99% of court cases, they're not 100% sure. They're like 90% or 95 or 98%. 2 and 5 are contradictory. Oh, you're right. This is before hardcore realms.
In the neck.
Official, hardcore official. Yeah, I just mean like in the current state that it is now. Yeah, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. I think that it is a... Is it, like, it's obvious that he did it on purpose, right? I mean, come on.
What the hell are you guys doing?
I don't think Blizzard Hardcore will do anything, yes. Bean said Calamity's Double Hearth before, they're cheating piece of shit anyway. Am I the only person that thinks that this entire hardcore thing is fucking ridiculous? I've said this for a year now. This is just so fucking stupid and ridiculous. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Watching bots do a one mechanic boss and then something goes wrong and they just... Oh my god, Petri! It's so pathetic. Classic hardcore official servers will be dead after a few weeks anyway. Well, of course it will be dead. Because whenever you have a player that's able to do something like this and ruin everybody, like, the worst thing to happen, so this is how you create toxicity in games. You create toxicity by creating mandatory or pseudo-mandatory friction between players in which one player can negatively affect another player's experience. That's how you create, that's how like 95% of toxicity in video games is created in an abstract sense. And the fact is that with hardcore WoW, like, why wouldn't somebody wipe their group? Why wouldn't they do this? Because Blizzard can realistically, they're never going to be able to tell whether somebody's actually griefing or not. And they probably won't ban somebody unless they admit it. So you're going to have people constantly that are wiping raids, getting people killed, and they're doing it in a soft enough way to where it's very hard to tell whether it was on purpose or not. And this happens for a few times, and it's like, why would anybody want to play a version of the game that they could just randomly have hundreds of hours of their time wasted through no fault of their own? Isn't that part of hardcore that you die? Well, what I'm saying is that the essence of hardcore WoW, I think, is that death equals delete, but I don't think it's very fun or interesting whenever you just die because of somebody griefing you. And then, okay, well now it's over. Yeah, they could have, play softcore then? Well, why not just have it, instead of having, why is it so hard for people to accept that people might want to play hardcore, but they don't want to surrender the entire state of their character to fate or a malicious actor? Like, isn't there a middle ground here? I think that there is. For me, hardcore is just a single-player event, taking time with the games. Yeah, I think so. Not in hardcore? Well, that's what's going to happen with Blizzard's hardcore servers. And all I'm saying is that it's going to create a ton of toxicity. It's going to make people even more mad at each other. It's going to... I think it will kill the servers. I don't see this lasting for very long. Because as soon as people realize they have this much power, and all they have to do is risk an account for it... Oh, bro, like, as soon as somebody's ready to quit the game, they're gonna do this. Like, how many, videos have you guys seen back in the day of people that ninja loot, like, a chest or something like that before they quit the game? A lot of them, right? Like, I used to watch these regularly, like, all of these ninja loot videos and stuff. You? Oh, no, I never quit. But, yeah, so, like, why would, like, if you were in hardcore WoW, like, wouldn't you love to do that? Like, you quit, you don't like your guild anymore, and you just fucking wipe your raid? Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? And then all of their characters are gone and destroyed, and that's it, and there's nothing that they can do about it, and you get to quit the game and you destroy everybody else in the process. Wouldn't that be awesome? Absolutely. Because fuck them, that's why. Yeah, especially if they ever BM'd you. Yeah, exactly. You feel like you got skipped for Ashkandi, you deserved it, the other guy didn't. Well, guess what? Now you killed everybody in the raid because you taunted the boss while he was casting Shadow Flame Breath. And everybody's dead, and you're quitting the game anyway. You've got to go back to college. So fuck you guys. I'm taking my toys and I'm going home. Yeah. That's actually how it is. I think you take that risk running the raid with anyone. It's malicious if you put yourself in that. Well, I think that I think that you do take that risk, but the fact that there is a risk with that is going to mean that nobody will enjoy doing it. Now, what do you think about the 4 horsemen placement? Calamity herself said the boss was in the wrong place. No. Enough evidence for wrong corner, my bad. Come on. So anyway, let's see here. We'll read some of the posts about this. There were 700 comments about this situation. It's the top voted post on Classic WoW. Yeah, it's going to kill rating. Yeah, it's going to completely kill rating. If a tank accidentally pulls a Nixia because he lags, how do you prove he's griefing? You can't. You take the risk of getting hit by a car when you go outside, so you can't complain whenever you get hit. Yeah, exactly. It's a very silly way to look at it. You can only make this massive mistake once. It's clear that if this happens again, it's a grief. What do you mean if it happens again? What are you talking about if it happens again? There's no... It can't happen again. On the official realm, the characters are dead. They're done. There's no next time. It's finished. And who's to say somebody else won't join the raid and they're leveling up a character right now because they want to be that guy next year? Hardcore Andes legit have brain tumors? Well, they just don't think. Yeah, they're just not thinking. Pilly, not all that surprising. Pretty illustrative of the slippery slope of forgiving deaths in hardcore, with the add-on appeals have always been the thing, but raid deaths have explicitly been unappealable. Suddenly this happens, and lo and behold, they're willing to forgive raid deaths. This is why death appeals should never have been a thing for a game mode that's supposed to be hardcore. I actually disagree with this, and do you guys remember whenever I said that hardcore official servers might kill hardcore because there's no appeals? Do you remember whenever I said that? Yes, that's right. Or you don't even play the game? Well, the coach doesn't play the game, but he knows it better than everybody else, so here I am. Anyway, the fact is that whenever you have the appeal system, you take out that element of unfairness. And I think that if you have a hardcore version of the game, I think that you need appeals. The truth is, I think that you actually need appeals. You can't have a version of the game without appeals. And the idea that raid deaths should have been explicitly unappealable was stupid in the beginning. So them changing a stupid rule to not be stupid doesn't make them stupid now. It makes them stupid whenever they make a rule. They should have never done that. Similar to disconnect deaths in hardcore, you need appeals for deaths that were not in control of the player. Exactly. Can you just fuck the entire raid team on Baron-Geddon? People will avoid or re-strategize those bosses. Well, on official hardcore servers, you also would have people get banned. So, let me explain. Okay.
Play Diablo 4 on Xbox Series X. The time of prophecy has come.
All right. So we're gonna have a chart. Okay. And I want to grief someone. Okay. This is a person that wants to grief someone. And there are 2 outcomes that can occur. All right. And outcome number 1. And here's outcome number 2. So, the question is that how do you get a person who wants to be a griefer to not be a griefer and say, never mind, this is a waste of time? It's actually not banning them. Banning them doesn't do it. Nothing is lost. Griefer banned. Sorry, this is a little bit too small. Or a little bit too, yeah, it's too big. Yeah, we'll just go right here. I just want you guys to understand how this works. Okay, so this is what happens. Do you understand? This is like banning murder, except it's allowed in large groups. You can't target grief a single person, but you're allowed to do it at large scale. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Is there anybody who can argue with this logic? Griefer is banned in both cases, though? Yeah. I don't think Griefer Griefer being banned matters. Yeah, can anybody beat this logic? I'm open to any argument. Logic is invalid. I'd like to explain.
Old gods.
Okay, please explain. It doesn't work? Alright, we're gonna explain.
Ooh.
Here we go. Okay, please explain. Here we go. If a death is appealed and the griefer is banned, they will make a new account, and they will have more to go after. What? If a death is appealed and griefer is banned, they will make new account, and they will have more people to go after. How would they have more people? Analyzing the mind. Yeah, this is what it's called. I'll put it over here. I've typed, because they can repeat on the same person and probably grief others before they get banned. I don't play hardcore WoW. Well, if you did, you'd understand why this doesn't make any sense. So why would you tell me that my logic is wrong if you don't even play the game that I'm talking about? How do you even know that my logic is wrong if you don't even play the game? It doesn't even make sense. The griefer. So all they have to do is just spend 300 more hours. Big ego, smart. And this is, I want you guys to understand. This is the people that think that they have an argument. These are the people that say Asmon doesn't listen to other points of view because they never can they don't even know what they're saying. Does anybody else have an argument against this? We'll read it, and we'll see what they have to say. The logic is okay. All right, let's read it. The logic is flawed since it's impossible to uphold the current Blizzard policy. A non-biased GM and system doesn't exist. Would you ban everyone involved with Devilstorm Mafia or Elemental Mafia? The lines become blurred instantly. Because it's impossible to uphold a current Blizzard policy. So basically, you're saying that it's impossible to do this because Blizzard is because Blizzard is bad. Okay, well then, so what you're saying is that you're actually not saying that the logic is flawed. You're saying that it's impossible for this to happen. Because like this I think like this logic is sound. It's just that your argument is that it's not possible for it to occur in the first place. Let me try. Okay. All right, we'll get another one. Okay. All right, let me try. You're next. Blizzard too cheap to investigate appeals, and you're right. Wait, T-Mux, you said something else. Let me read it real quick. If you could determine who was griefing and who wasn't, sure. Okay, so then yes. Okay, so then it works. Right. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, I exactly. Let's see next. And I think that you're right, by the way. I don't think, and Blizzard knows this. Blizzard is obviously not going to do this. They're not going to make the right decision. Like, there's never been a judicial system, whether it's like League of Legends or the United States government, that is flawless. It's never existed. I don't think that the absence of perfection means that you should not try, though. Okay, I think you're forgetting about the instant reward a griefer receives just for completing the grief. That's what they live for. I disagree with this as a griefer. Because if I knew that all of my efforts would be immediately invalidated, like if I ninja looted something from somebody and I knew that they were just going to put in a ticket and then have it given back to them, then it wouldn't really matter to me, because the outcome, like I don't get a desired outcome. I'm not getting what I want. Also, I don't think that they would be mad because they would know that they just got griefed. Like, that's why, for example, Zaryu and these people stopped getting griefed in Classic WoW. Like, you notice that not that many people are trying to drag mobs on top of Zaryu anymore? Do you know why? It's because he knows he's going to get them appealed. So the effect that the griefer has is nerfed. So they don't do it. Like, that's the exact point. There's no point to it because the effect goes away. And then the person who's getting griefed knows it goes away, so they don't get mad in the first place. It doesn't go down to 0, but it's nerfed. Yes, it's massively nerfed. Griefers love that first moment whenever they get the person, whether they get the character back or not. They may not even know. They love the instant mauled. That's the reward. Personally, I love the idea of knowing how much time I wasted. And, like, I love the idea of knowing that I fucked somebody over in a massive way. Like, I didn't like, oh, wow, I've inconvenienced you for 5 minutes. Haha, I got you. And also, I wasn't gonna get my account punished either. Like, if I was going to lose my account to mildly inconvenience somebody for a small period of time, I would not do it. The reason why griefing happens is the same reason why anything happens. It's because the positives of it happening outweigh the negatives of it happening. So if the positive of it happening, and also like griefing, for example, let me think of a good example for this. Sitting on the arena keepers. Do you remember back in Burning Crusade, whenever Tauren druids would sit on top of the arena masters in Burning Crusade? People would sit on top of the arena masters in Burning Crusade, and they would do that over and over and over, and they would make it to where people couldn't interact with the arena master. Then, as more players learned how to target things through nameplates, this no longer became an issue. So players were able to just completely circumvent this problem, and the griefer was still able to sit on top of the arena master, and it was still annoying. But it didn't really inconvenience anyone for a considerable amount of time. So the effect that it had was nerfed, and then people stopped caring. So that's a good example of it. I'll think of a few more examples. Killing quest givers is another good example. So if you kill a quest giver, and let's say you're sitting in Westfall, if the Defias messenger was way faster, and the time that it took for him to respawn was basically instantaneous, would there be a reduced or increased or neutral effect that it would have on the amount of people that were doing griefing? Because I think it would reduce the effect. Because the reason why you kill the Defias messenger whenever he gets into Moonbrook is because whenever you do that, you have subtracted 10 minutes or 15 minutes from that player's life. If he started in Moonbrook, the reward wouldn't be that big, because you're not wasting anybody's time. So I actually think that the reward of griefing is directly proportional with the amount of time that you can waste of the other person, of the amount of the other person's time that you waste. So like if you inconvenience them for 30 minutes, it matters a lot less than if you inconvenience them for 30 hours. You see what I'm saying? I used to have, here's another example. I used to have people send me mail in WoW, and they would send me like 1,000 mails, like letters, to try to make it to where like my mailbox was full.
Get him, Gerda. Let's go.
Then I was able to just put them on ignore, and then report them for doing it, and then I don't know if their account got banned or not, but it would just instantly delete all of their mail because they were on ignore. And as soon as I realized that I could do this, and people saw me do this, nobody sent me mail like that anymore. It completely stopped happening. And do you know why? It's because it no longer had the power to inconvenience me for a considerable amount of time that would make that person feel like they were getting a reward out of it. So does that make sense? Let me go ahead and read this. I totally disagree.
Oh, Gerda got 4 kills.
Okay, give me an example of something that used to be a huge waste of time, and now it's not a waste of time at all in WoW that was a grief, and people still do it all the time. Yeah, he did say fair enough. Alright, good luck. It's fine. Yep, good. What if I RMT cheap accounts to grief the exact same person several times, then he quits appealing? Well, you're going to eventually run out of money, and why would you keep griefing the exact same person every single time? Yes, there's always a way to get around this, but again, yes, theoretically, if somebody is a multi-millionaire that wants to continue buying hardcore WoW accounts at level 60, like, what are we doing here? What are we talking about? Like, you're just making up, like, a fucking, like, a 1%, 1%, 1% thing. Like, why are we even talking about that? Like, I'm talking about something that happens, like, 99%
Escape
of the
from
time.
captivity? What
Put
is he
me up, let me
captive
cook.
of?
Alright, we're gonna do 2 more, and then we're gonna finish this, okay? Because it's fairly obvious that nobody
Who are
can
we at war
understand
with?
this.
What are you
Okay,
dealing?
let's go. Alright, please explain how the logic is wrong. Let's go. Let's let them cook. How does Blizzard officially verify a grief? That's not part of the argument. That's not part of it. So I don't understand. What does that have to do with what I said? I don't understand. Did you burn the food? I have a scenario that works. Please left stop. All right. We're gonna get you in next. Okay. I think getting to never mind, this is a waste of time only happens if an official appeal happens and they get their character back. But how do they appeal? Well, they would send a message to Blizzard and say, hey, I got disconnected or something like that happened. This person brought Tiramis the Devourer on top of my character while I was questing in the Blasted Lands and got me killed. How does anybody appeal anything? How does an appeal happen in general? Blizzard's customer service is turbo ass. Okay, so you actually don't have an argument. Okay. So your argument is not that the logic is wrong, it's that Blizzard is bad. Okay. Next. Alright, somebody says they have a scenario. Let's go ahead and read it. I have a scenario where the logic or griefer mindset. Okay. Alright, you're next. Let's go. When the griefer is performing the griefing task on the grief victim, and the griefer looks to grief during the task window, while the grief victim is going to feel the maximum impact of it. The grieved person needs to live with the grief during the anti-grief system to process to invalidate it, to underdo the process. Therefore, the grief being griefed upon the grieved person by the griefer has still griefed significantly. So you're saying that having to do an appeal is griefing in itself? Well, you're right, but if a person risks their account by having to grief somebody, then they're also griefing themselves as well. Is he trolling? Well, that's not really true, right? This can't be a real argument. None of them are. Now, if you ban me from chat and remove the time it took to read that out of the VOD, this will be a... Okay, alright. At least that one's kind of funny. Alright, next. Let's see here. If you're brave, you'll read my posts. Okay. Alright, we'll read your posts. Jesus Christ. Okay, there's a lot here. There exists an edge case. And there's an edge case. Okay, so this is like where a griefer might be able to create new accounts for Blizzard and take advantage of free trial playtime. For this, attrition is meaningless to them, and another week is plenty of time. But you can't. What's the max level you can get to in a free trial account? 20.
I feel like you guys should spot.
Why are people expecting 100% perfect system? Because they want people think that they're smart because they can understand an exception. Time out again. Yeah, you're getting timed out again. This is the dumbest one I've ever heard. Yeah, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You're not wrong, though. Blizzard isn't capable of this. I think that Blizzard is, like, it doesn't matter if they're capable or not, because they're not going to do it. I have a take. Feel free to ban me if you disagree. Okay. One more. It's not even that, dude. You ask anyone, you asked if people could find fallacy in your logic, and they're trying to create different scenarios that don't have anything to do with what you're talking about. Do you know why? It's because they're dumb. That's why. Yeah, it's actually really simple. Okay. Alright. Let's go. Last one. This is the last one. Then I have one flaw inside this logic that's a bit outside the box. Okay, so you're talking about another 1% inside of a 1% that's actually a theoretical that doesn't even make sense in the first place. No, please spare me. Yeah, he's cooking. Guys, let him cook. Let's go. Literally everything, every box that you make related to WoW should just be an arrow pointing to never mind, this is a waste of... Okay, fuck you. Okay, can we get one real one at the end? Let me see. Okay, this guy has been spamming for a long time. Alright, here we go. Allow me to try as an outsider. Okay. Sure, go ahead. Your last box assumes Blizzard can tell the difference between a real appeal and lying. Doesn't their support use Autobots? How are you determining real griefs? I know a little bit about how much information Blizzard has and how much data they have to go off of for, like, player snapshots and everything, and you'd be really surprised what they have. They have, like, fucking XYZ telemetry, coordinates, time frames, movement, interactions, key presses, everything. They're just not doing shit with it? Yeah, they're not doing anything with it because they don't care and it's not worth their money. Okay, so Hardcore WoW has rules in place. It's not Blizzard's job to police hardcore death appeals. The griefer knows this, so the burden falls onto the people you raid with. So if the griefer knows Blizzard won't do anything about it, then the griefer wins. The soul burden, it's S-O-L-E. It's soul, like individual. Falls onto people who they raid with in the end.
Is it? Is he right?
I can tell that you are an outsider. Please stop typing. You don't even know enough about the game to construct an argument. You don't even understand the game enough to even have an argument. What are you doing? Can we just have one decent one? This is the last.
Why?
Like, can I please just, can we at least have one person that brings up something that's just like not immediately? These people have wasted your time. Okay. All right. Let's get your legit point. No more cooking, please, Aspen. We're full. Isn't it scary to see the way that these people are so adamant and so... They're so sure
it's 'cause I have
of something
castles
that
and
makes
he
no
doesn't.
sense. It's scary. It really is. It's pretty insane. Yeah, it's just very disturbing. WoW is known to have griefers. We know this. So if you're so worried about dying in hardcore WoW, why not play regular classic?
Alright, get 'em, boys. I'm taking the laundry out of the dryer. Arr. Grr.
I hope you know that, guys, I'm taking a lot of people. I'm not saying the griefers should go unpunished, but we are playing hardcore because we are playing on the edge with one life. This is the best I can come up with. I only make this point because of how horrible the opposing arguments are. So your argument is that hardcore is hardcore. What does that have to do with this?
Someone gained a Lambo.
Did you forget about the chart? What does this have to do with the chart? That doesn't have it. Like, what do you... It doesn't even make sense. I can cook, Chief. No, you can't. No, I think
I can
we've had
cook,
enough.
Chief.
It doesn't even make sense. This is just so sad. We've had enough cooks, okay, guys?
Had enough cooks. Too many
We've
cooks.
had too many cooks.
Ah!
None of this makes sense. The intention of the griefer matters. He knew this playstyle of his party and made a calibrated choice to disrupt their gameplay. Therefore, Blizzard needs to take action. Yeah, and so anyway, let's read some of the comments. I know we've kind of gone off on the edge about this, but I would just like, yeah, kitchen's closed, guys. I would just like
closed.
to display some of the minds at work here. None of these people have any logic or reasoning at all. They're arguing against points that I didn't make. They're creating imaginary situations that don't make sense. They oftentimes don't even play the game enough to understand what's even being discussed. But they're so adamant and they're spamming, please, please let me prove you wrong. You don't even know what you're talking about. So I just want you guys to see this. That these are the minds of these people. A griefer will never think something is a waste of time. Griefers don't care about their own time. They only care about the time of others. That's not true. And I think it is true to an extent. But the extent is what we're talking about. And if they only care about the time of others, then what about the time is that they waste?
Taste it.
5 minutes versus 50 hours. Which one are they going to care about more? Which one's going to make them...
Do we have room for all those guys?
Which one will make them take action?
Do.
There's a ratio.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a ratio. Which don't only make sense if
Get a
you
little
personally have a beef against other players.
variety in the group.
Yeah, there are always going to be people that are going to, act outside of that. So let's read a few of these comments. Only the add-on users are the true hardcore. Damn, you're grouping for a dungeon. That's not very hardcore of you, my man. But yeah, restore my character on the add-on. Now that's hardcore. I think that the dungeon restrictions were stupid anyway. This is why, as much as I like solo self-found, I want official hardcore servers already. A good amount of these same players already used appeals to stay alive. Now they're granted by the admins of their own guild. These players should be dead and there should be no appeal. I mean, I wonder how these people would feel if somebody killed their character in a way that they had no control over. Right? Like, if they lost their character that they invested, 200 hours into, and it was just immediately removed, like, would they care?
No.
And also, like, let's assume
I think
it
I can
happened
farm
once, right?
hideouts.
But let's assume it happens 3 times.
In the east.
Do you think they're going to keep playing for number 4? No, I don't think so. An argument hinges on your opinion
I'm not
that griefing is useless if the
working
player
on
gets
this
their
stuff.
character back. It's not useless, it's just massively nerfed. Another example of why an appeal system is bullshit is Soul Self-Found fan as well. Having no appeals is definitely one of the biggest highlights of Official Classic. I don't know why people are celebrating the idea that they can get killed by a disconnect. Like, I really just don't understand the mind of these people. Why would you celebrate that? That's bad. It's so stupid. Like, okay, somebody gets you killed on purpose, and now you have to waste, like... Do you have no respect for your own time?
1, 3, 8, 6.
This is... It's ridiculous. The reactions after the wipe is the ultimate gold. If they continued knowing it was grief and finished up to KT, the griefer wouldn't have as much to gain, as much pleasure. Yeah, exactly. If everybody that did that
Really hope
raid
we
was
can
like,
make that
oh,
bar
okay,
go down,
well,
otherwise we're
I
screwed.
guess we'll just have to get our buffs back and try again tomorrow, and we'll just appeal this and then get the guy banned. I don't think the guy would have probably done it. That's the truth. Feels like they don't play, and that's why they hold their shitty opinion. Yeah, or they're like level 18. So they investigated themselves and found they did nothing was wrong. World first hardcore Kel'Thuzad is going to come with a pretty hefty asterisk if that's how it's achieved. People will forget about world first hardcore Kel'Thuzad whenever retail hardcore is out anyway. I think that that's implying that people are going to care to begin with. It doesn't really matter. Most aren't willing to, already deleted their character. Recruit unknown griefer, it doesn't matter. That doesn't really make a difference. Kill a 17 or lost, claiming a unique achievement. Pathetic, yeah, sure. Yeah, I just think that these people are... I think that they're so naive. Yeah, I think that time will prove me right. Is that as soon as you start seeing this happen on the official hardcore servers, and the effect of it is like seen by players, because I think that people might not really understand the negative effect that it has on the entire rest of the player base whenever something like this happens. Because whenever somebody realizes that, hey, I can lose all of my time just to something that is literally a malicious action by another player that I can't control, That's a massive reason not to play the game. Yeah, they're just not going to raid. They're not going to play the game. Listen, now they're surprised they got grief by a supposed friend. Basically, they know they'll appeal it, and it's going to be no big deal tomorrow. Yeah. Why would we want safety nets for a hardcore server? If you really value your time, you're so worried about griefers, and hardcore isn't for you. So you're saying that, like, unless you want, that's so weird. Like, couldn't you just say that about any game? That if you, why have any rules in any game? Because there's going to be griefers in any, it doesn't even make sense. People are doing this kind of griefing in retail too. Hardcore is just a bigger dopamine hit for them. Of course it is, because it does more damage. That's my whole point. To be fair, hardcore players don't even respect their own time by playing hardcore. Yeah. Any other ideas to take power away from griefers? Well, here's what I think is going to happen, okay? To be fair, by the way, I thought this was fucking hilarious. Like, yeah, obviously the guy should probably get banned for it, and it's horrible that it happened to him, but I thought it was fucking hilarious. There you go. Sorry, guys. It was funny. Here's also the truth, is that having no appeals is going to end up killing hardcore WoW on the official servers. The only reason that hardcore WoW functions is because of the,
Okay,
it's
it
because of
goes
the
down
appeal
by a
system.
little bit.
You can't put your faith in other people like it does with hardcore WoW, and then be like, okay, well, you're effectively trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Hardcore WoW is like a fucking, it's a stupid fucking idea. Fundamentally, it is a stupid fucking idea. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work with the way the game is designed. It's just antithetical to what the game is. So if you try to push a game mode into a game that doesn't make any sense, you're going to have friction. And that friction is mitigated by the appeal system. Because anybody who plays WoW knows that there are these extenuating circumstances that you just can't control for. Like disconnects, like weird bugs, or like anything like that. And the truth is that if you can't appeal that, why would anybody want to play the game? Blizzard would have to hire many people. Yeah. Extremely stupid idea. Yes, it's a very stupid idea. So Blizz just needs a strong and fair appeal system. Yeah. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think that it's going to end up killing hardcore WoW. Because people who do this kind of stuff, it's massively entertaining, right? Everybody loved the video. Like, look at this. I was actually talking to Zach about this like a couple of hours ago. The video for this thing came out yesterday. It has 820,000 views. It's 1 hour long. People fucking love this. They absolutely love it. They think it's amazing. They think it's fucking hilarious. They think it's great. Was so calculated.
No,
This is
Garda.
insane, man. What's more hardcore than playing a psychopath? At any point they can turn on you. Truly a maniac. Immediately compensated for the taunt with mocking blow. Really, Trucy knows what he's doing. This is one of the best Asmongold videos because it goes 100% nerding on WoW. Yep. There we go. He's a man of focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will. We absolutely need to interview this guy. This mindset is such a villain and absolutely worth a dissection. Because people like watching documentaries about Jeffrey Dahmer. People like watching serial killer stuff. They don't care about the victims. They don't matter. People want to be entertained. Whether it's in the Coliseum, whether it's through serial killers, or whether it's through UFC. Nobody gives a fuck about the people that are involved. All they want to do is see bread and circuses. And I'll tell you something, this is a fucking circus. It is amazing. It is great content, and over 800,000 people voted that it was great content in one fucking day. It is a hour-long YouTube video. This was massive. People love this. And you know why? Because it's fucking funny. And as soon as people realize that they can be the next person who everybody's talking about and everybody's tweeting about, they're going to start harassing and they're going to start griefing. Because at the end of the day, this guy might have lost his account, but who gives a fuck about that? He has probably made thousands of dollars. He kickstarted an actual career on Twitch, and now he's getting massive amounts of people talking to him, giving him money, and he's successful in a way that nobody else in this guild is, by the way. And all of that, and people thought it was funny. So yes, I do think it will kill Hardcore Classic if they let this stuff happen. I do. because the reward is too big. He might even start a griefing community. Yes, absolutely. Does IP ban fix this? No, it doesn't. If that's true, it doesn't take account. It's actually malicious. It doesn't matter if it's funny or not. Once it happens to you, it won't be funny. That's because nobody has empathy. No, it's because nobody cares. You see, everybody here admits if this had happened to you, you would be super upset, right? It would be awful. But it didn't. It happened to them, and that's why it's funny. Yeah, that's the whole reason why it's fucking funny, because it didn't happen to them. Didn't happen to me. How can I prove that he even griefed if he denies it? I think it's, I mean, most people that are convicted of crimes deny it. Jail is full of innocent men. There's a counter argument? No, I'm not going to read your counter argument. That doesn't make any sense. Please do not give me your counter
Kitchen's
argument.
closed.
Please stop it. Yeah, I
Kitchen's
don't want to
closed.
hear another. Oh, I've got a point of view. No, you don't. You don't even know what you're talking about. Let's see here. So yeah, everybody is shitting on these guys. And so look at what happened. This person clearly did something, like in my mind, I think that they 100% did it on purpose, right? They 100% did it on purpose. It's without a shadow of a doubt. And now the entire community is supporting punishing the players for playing with them. So they're actually supporting the harassment. And do you know why? It's because it's funny. That's why. It's because it's funny. So, yeah, I think Blizzard just, I mean, if they the thing is, Blizzard has had a hands-off policy with their community for years. And, this is what you get. Yeah, I saw this. And there it is. The biggest grief in WoW history. They burning Thane. Lightning Mob will one-shot them all. Lol. You just need the chain. Can you play like insane noises in Discord so no one can hear? Act normal. Get Mob to stay middle. Play inside flashbang noise in your Discord. And have your Discord desktop playing in the Discord so raid leader can't make any calls. 5 seconds into the fight, bring the Mob Thane to the corner and hold them. Giga chain. Taunt spam whenever you can to keep it on the stack. Enough marks and chaos goes out. Full wipe. You got that? What do you mean stay in middle? I'm starting on Zeliek. Like on the stairs. Grab him. Giga chain. And that's what really matters. Yep. Because people think it's funny. I think it would be better if he didn't fake it. No, it definitely is better that he faked it. Because that way, you have people who are deliberately, like, intellectually dishonest that are going to pretend and troll by saying that he didn't mean to do it. And so it creates, like, another layer of trolling inside of it. It's like meta-trolling. And saying that they assigned him on Zeliek? Well, would it matter if he just... What would it matter if they... Who they assigned him to? Like, even if they didn't assign him on Zeliek, you could just have him taunt Zeliek anyway. The overwhelming majority of people playing hardcore are just having fun leveling, dying, and leveling over and over. They aren't thinking about max. Only a tiny majority of them will make it to 60. Why would this kill hardcore whenever it's mostly people leveling? Because all of the people that are leveling are always recording themselves in case they die to a disconnect. That's why we see so many hardcore death appeals and how many hardcore death clips. It's because people are all recording themselves in case they die. Or they get griefed. That's why. Because even leveling matters. This will not last long. Every death will be appealed regardless of cause, or griefers will ruin hardcore. It's either one or the other. Hardcore WoW is always a joke. I'm surprised it lasted and got as far as it did. Anyway, yeah, either way, it won't really matter. It won't matter on official hardcore servers because death equals delete and that's it. So you're going to have way more people that are spamming this kind of stuff, that are griefing, because to them, yeah, they lose an account, but the other person could lose way more than that. Yep, actual hardcore players, and they will realize the folly of their ways. I think it's going to be fucking hilarious.
You've got quite a sweat through...
the Webb Space Telescope's first year of science, testing remote possibilities of a NASA humanoid robot, and a fleet of clean new rides for Artemis astronauts. A few
Hell,
of the
those
stories
things.
to tell you about this week at NASA. On July 12th, we celebrated our James Webb Space Telescope's first year of science operations with the release of this new Webb image of the Rho-Ophiuchi Cloud Complex,
Wow.
the closest star-forming region to us, some 390 light-years away. Since the release of Webb's first full-color images in July 2022, the telescope has discovered some of the earliest galaxies ever observed, delivered the most detailed views of atmospheres of planets outside our solar system, and captured new views of planets within our solar system. Learn more at nasa.gov/web. NASA and Western Australia's Woodside Energy plan to use a NASA Valkyrie robot to test robotic remote operations at the company's facilities. The collaboration could lead to improved operational safety and efficiency at the company's offshore and remote installations. The venture could also help NASA develop a remotely operated mobile robot capable of working in conditions not suited for humans, like those astronauts may encounter on future Artemis missions to the moon. On July 11th, 3 specially designed, fully electric, environmentally friendly crew transportation vehicles were delivered to our Kennedy Space Center by Canu Technologies Incorporated. The zero-emission vehicles will be used to transport astronauts from the crew quarters at Kennedy to their rocket and spacecraft at Launch Pad 39B ahead of Artemis missions to the moon. NASA Armstrong's DC-8 aircraft is conducting a series of low-altitude flights over some of the most densely populated places in North America as part of a collaborative effort with NOAA. The project is called AEROMA, short for Atmospheric Emissions and Reactions Observed from Megacities to Marine Areas. It looks at how urban emissions and atmospheric chemical reactions that stem from the use of everyday items like personal care products and cleaning agents affect air quality and climate. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other
Stream. Yeah, I guess we can watch it. Sure, let's watch it. We'll watch Steele's POV because he'll.
Wait, does he have a follow-up?
Era in 2020.
This video will make you want to play WoW again.
It's hard to think that Classic WoW has been out almost 4 years at this point. That's a hell of a
Holy
long
shit.
time to
It's actually true.
still not have Thunder Fury. Since then, we've had the Burning
I have
Crusade,
Thunder
Wrath, Season of Mastery, and hell, I wouldn't be surprised if we have Classic Cataclysm announced by the end of the year. Which is pretty nuts, to be honest.
Yeah.
But what's more interesting to me is the current state of Vanilla Era WoW, which is currently going through what I can only describe as a complete resurrection. I have not seen the vanilla classic servers this busy since Classic WoW launched back in 2019. It's insane, and if you're one of those people sitting on the fence and thinking about jumping back into vanilla on a fresh character, or starting the game for the very first time, then this is the video.
Dude, that's nuts that there's that many people playing who aren't just like hardcore players. They just want to play classic World of Warcraft.
For you. Why? Because I have done just that. Some time ago, I created a brand new character on a vanilla era server I'd never played on before. It was a completely fresh start.
Look at all these
And
bandits.
since then, over the last few weeks, I've been leveling, running dungeons, being mind controlled down chimneys, and generally having a fucking great time, to be honest with you. From that experience, I can absolutely confirm that vanilla era classic WoW is booming right now. There are new players everywhere, running dungeons is a super smooth experience, and forming groups takes only a few minutes most of the time.
Jesus.
I just finished questing through Duskwood, and completing the many elite quests was easy because of how many other players were venturing alongside me, ready and eager to talk, group up, and get the job done.
And that's what I think is so crazy about it, is the fact that like it's not even something that's happening with hardcore WoW, it's something that's happening everywhere. Like Era is actually thriving, people are actually playing hardcore now. It's nuts.
Obviously, I can't speak for the American servers because I play on EU.
The biggest
but I've heard that it's the same
horde
over
guild.
there, with a massive surge in new and returning players to the vanilla game. The question here, though, is why? Why is this happening in the first place? After all, Vanilla WoW hasn't had any new content since the original classic release, if you don't count the Season of Mastery, which was a bit, you know. So why are people returning to play the game now? Honestly, I think it comes down to the nature of vanilla as a game and what
I
differentiates.
think also people are excited about hardcore WoW because they're talking about it again, right? It's like people are talking about hardcore WoW, and then like maybe they try out hardcore and they're like, you know, they die, but they're like, fuck it, I just want to keep going, keep playing, and like that's probably what it is too.
Differentiates it from
It's like a
Wrath
social
Classic
movement.
and retail WoW, which I think is where many players are coming from right now. This could be summarized pretty simply as the journey is the destination. Now, we've all heard the meaningful journey shit when it comes to vanilla, but honestly, it's pretty accurate. World of Warcraft has never been a sandbox game, but vanilla WoW is far closer to a sandbox than any subsequent version of the game.
Okay.
Leveling takes time. It fosters a bond between player and character.
Well, it's an actual experience that transcends just a fucking bullshit thing that you have to do for like 20 hours because this is how MMOs are. Like, for most games, leveling is completely pointless. There's no reason to have to level.
Two skills and improvements in the field.
Okay.
Simple things like and using a function house to build it. All of these things feel like you're right in an
The thing is, classic WoW is really hard and fucking annoying, so you have to do things that you wouldn't normally do while leveling.
just to get to level 60. You log in because you want to play your character, regardless of what its current level is. This feeling of adventure is only strengthened by the game's approach to cooperation and interaction between players. There was a common misconception which was heavily ridiculed before the release of Classic WoW that vanilla was really hard, something which people quickly realized is not accurate. Mechanically speaking, vanilla WoW is far simpler than any subsequent version of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
What people really meant was that vanilla is far less forgiving than modern
Well,
WoW.
it's also the simplicity is what people like. I don't know why, like, there's a lot of esports enjoyers that are like, no, the game has to reward you because you have a 80 millisecond reaction time. No. People want an easy game that they can sit back and relax and play.
Far less solo friendly, and then everything takes more time. What this means for players is that working together is the best way to deal with many challenges presented by the game. You talk to people, you accomplish things together that due to the nature of the game would have been extremely difficult or impossible for you to achieve on your own, which makes the feeling of jolly cooperation all the more powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you actually
Hell yeah, Gerda. Hell yeah. Get his ass.
So whenever
Get his ass, Gerda.
helping you,
Nice. You level
it
to
was like
100 with that
night and
one-hand
day
skill.
difference. Whereas like now in retail WoW, usually leveling with another person or playing with somebody else will end up slowing you down. And the gear matters a lot too. Yeah, exactly.
You got
How bonds engage, how friendships. The reality is, I've added more new people to my friends list in the 2 weeks of playing vanilla WoW than they have in 2 years of playing retail. And
Yeah.
I'm much more likely to keep adding people to the friends list, considering that they crop up again and again out in the world because the servers aren't mashed together in a cross-realm system where you never see someone more than once.
I do have to say that I am a mass server enjoyer. I don't like the idea that servers are. I don't think servers add any value. They're
Oh, I got
garbage.
stuff too? I got one hand
They're a
too?
technological limitation that
Oh.
should have been left in 2015, 2010. But you know, I think that the value
That,
would still
that's
be the
probably big.
same if everybody was in the same place. I think sharding and phasing is what the problem is
All
really.
these bandits.
Okay, so we've gone over the meaningful journey and the focus on cooperation with other players. These things are essential, but I think there's more to it than that, which
Like,
makes vanilla so
I wish I
popular.
could just, I
I
don't
think
know how
that
to
a
like
big
net
part of
them
what
or
draws
something like
people
that.
back to the vanilla game is the simple, honest fantasy of the game. You play as a nobody, setting forth on an adventure to become a somebody
Yeah.
in a world filled with fantasy races, tons of varied locations, and all manner.
Well, it's an RPG that you can choose your own path in. Whereas later on in in WoW, that path is chosen for you. You do certain actions, you are the hero of Azeroth, etc. And again, Final Fantasy does that, and I think the MSQ for Final Fantasy is better than it is for WoW. So it's not like it's somehow a better experience, like fundamentally, but it's definitely a more open experience.
Stories just you don't have a single mega mind plot being forced down your throat at all times. Nor do you have to constantly adjust your expectations and focus on the main story entirely.
No.
All of this
Hey!
to make the world feel much more realistic. Feels like a virtual world and your characters
Somebody hit me. Oh, hit me right in the back.
finding their places in that world. And speaking of which, it's just immense.
Yeah.
You're not
Finish
packed
him!
into small zones or a hub city all the time, but instead you're left to travel across vast distances, which only adds to that feeling of being in an actual virtual world rather than a condensed game level.
Yeah, that's another thing that the game really did a good job at, is having places that were just there because of the nature of it being an open world, rather than a level that you go through.
On and on, but this is simply people are coming back to vanilla WoW.
You messed
now.
up.
The game is timeless in a way people are doing. Just are. You don't need a direct
Messed up.
to consume for the game to be worth your time. In my opinion, it's one of the best games ever made, and it has aged better than any other game I can think of. In contrast to retail and the later stages of WoW, vanilla offers a more sandbox experience, which I think appeals to a large portion of the community who just want to explore and create their own adventures, rather than being forced to play the game in a certain fixed way, be doing it the right way. The right way is whatever you want it to be, as long as you're having fun. Something which, in my opinion at least, got lost somewhere along the way to modern WoW.
Well, it's not about having fun anymore. It's about optimizing your rotation, making sure that you have your weak auras updated, installing DBM, making sure that you're in a raiding guild, showing up to that raid on time. Do you have the plug-in for this boss here? Okay, good. Making sure that your rotation for the interrupt, you're the 7th interrupt on the 3rd ad. All right, oops, somebody disconnected. It's a wipe again. Okay, now we're going to spend 15 minutes walking back. Oh, we're going to have Soul Stone, but somebody released. Let's get a Summoning Stone down. We've got to summon the... Like, oh, my God. The boss, this is your 200th wipe on the same boss. What is this? Like, who's having fun here?
I wanted to make this video because to me, the more people who come back to vanilla or get into it for the first time, the better. In an ideal world, I would love for this surge of interest to result in Blizzard finally seriously looking at the prospects of additional content for vanilla WoW in the spirit of...
The problem that I have with that, and I do think they should do this, however, is that I do not trust Blizzard to do this in, like, a good way. Like, I think that this is the path forward, but I don't think it's going to be perfect, and the content that they release will not be of the same quality of the original content. I don't know, like, there's a lot of things with Diablo that I think work really well, but, like, the game design decisions in a lot of cases are just not very good. And it's the same thing with, like, Dragonflight. And, like, Blizzard just, like, has some of these, like, values that don't make any sense to me. Like, I think Blizzard, like, it's almost like they want their games to be frustrating. Like, bosses have one mechanic, boom, content's perfect, classic. Yeah.
the original game. But even if it just means that we all get to experience true classic WoW together once more, and revel in the magnificence of the game,
Look at all these
then
freaking
that's enough for
bandits.
me, and I hope you'll join me for the ride. If you enjoyed this
Do
video
you
and
think
you'd like to
friction's
see more,
necessary?
I've linked a playlist to the whole
Well, the
Fresh
problem
Vanilla
is that
adventure.
they think that friction is necessary, but they don't understand how to create it in a fulfilling way. So that's the problem. It's that friction is necessary in a game for it to be good, but that friction is not...
Hideout to hideout to hideout to
right
hideout.
place.
What are you guys
I'll
doing
continue
in
playing
your
my generous
lands?
solo now. If you like the vibe of the
Look at all
channel,
these
then I encourage you to
bandits.
subscribe, and if you don't, then you should probably run away as fast as you can, eh? Until the next episode, guys, be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
I really like this video. I think it's a short video. It's sweet to the point. But yeah, I definitely agree with this. I think that the reason why Vanilla WoW is blowing up is because it's really easy. You can do it at your own pace. The raids are a minimal time investment. You can get world buffs and run them over. And then you can get the best gear out of the raid for running them over. It's amazing.
Ow.
And that's why people like it. They like it because it's fucking easy. And I know that it's like, no, it's not true. Yes, it fucking is. Because the moment the game got too hard, everyone started blowing up. What a fucking coincidence. Give me a break. Yeah, there's no convoluted systems. The leveling matters. Once you buy the game and it's done. Yeah, exactly. There's that too. It's wild as I played WoW 1, 2014, 15. Losing nothing, and somehow the World of Classic WoW is nostalgic. It's truly constant. So it's because they really made something special with Classic WoW, and I don't think Blizzard has been able to like really do a lot of that afterwards. I think they've never been able to like really capture that in the same way. It's hard, man. I'm excited for Cataclassic. I'll play it, but I mean, this is what it is. Retail dungeon leveling is so dumb. Retail peaked in Wrath. I think that retail, like, Wrath, like, I like Wrath classes more than I like vanilla classes, personally. But, I think that vanilla content was better, and the vanilla world was better, and the vanilla systems were better. But, like, I just like the way classes play in Wrath more. In Hardcore Classic has been playing semi-hardcore the whole time. Blood and Thunder, the biggest horde guild on Hardcore Classic. A guild that wouldn't do dungeons with non-guildies and wouldn't invite people that had their deaths appealed by the Hardcore Mods team. Auto-appeal a female guild member's 5-minute long wipe. Her hearth is on CD because she didn't use petrification, and she blamed it on a game bug. It appears that since the guilds judge themselves whether or not a death is appealable, all legit hardcore guilds just appeal their deaths. So they investigate themselves and they find they did nothing wrong. This is the same guild that witch hunted a friend of mine who is a healer because they made a mistake in Zul'Gurub, ZG. Apparently the story goes that someone hearsay accused a guy of planning to grief Blood and Thunder, so when they lost 5 people to a trash AoE spell, they blamed him, even though it was people and the tank's own fault. Should have stunned or moved away. They lost 5 people to the Gurabashi, because you know what it is, right? It's the Gurabashi Berserker. It's the spinny boy thing. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, it was the bats? What? Oh my god. Oh no, the Axor, yes. The Berserkers are the big boys. Yeah, the Axors. Oh my god. The bats, it's even worse. Bro, it's classic. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. So, this is the ZG situation, alright? Let's look at the ZG situation first.
You got...
Here we go. So where's the... Okay, the Bat Rider's right... is right there. Okay. So... 2 Sunders. 4 Warriors. Okay. But why would he... But why would he... But why would they have them on top of each other? I don't understand. Why would they do that? So let me explain. Oh yeah, people don't play well. So these Bat Riders, whenever they get low health, they blow up, unless you kill them really fast. Okay. Good. Okay, they killed one of them. Unstable concoction. Big idiot died. Yep. Because you can see them, look. They don't even try to move out. Look at this mage. Wait, the mage doesn't even die! Of all the people that deserve to fucking die, it should have been the mage. It was a bug? What's the bug? I'm confused. Yeah, did he cast it early? There was no bug. Yeah, look at this. He's casting the spell. Now, usually, to be fair, usually they cast it at a lower health pool. They petried? No way they petried. Oh my god, no they didn't. Jesus, that is fucking bad. I can't believe that. And they just stood there like bots. Like, none of them even tried to move. And like, you see Mr. Rogue, he's like, oh, the ability that will cause the NPC to explode is about to occur. I should move my character away from the NPC so I don't get hit by the explosion. Oh, wow. Everybody else died. Must be a bug. Appeal. Does the NPC move? No, it does not. As soon as he begins that cast, he stops moving. And even if he does move, the tanks survived, or at least 2 of them did. And they could have just used a cooldown. The bug is them, they got squished like one? True. Oh my god. That is... What a situation. And apparently, they lost 5 people. They blamed Doc Cock. Where's Doc Cock? Wait, the healer? Oh, that makes sense, because he should have healed them.
You've got quite a sweat.
Yeah, I mean, if he had healed them, they wouldn't have died, right? I mean, sure. I love how this guy goes berserker stance. Did you really think berserker stance was the right thing to do in that situation? Of all of the things in all of the situations, was berserker stance the right option? I think not. How the fuck was he supposed to yield that damage? I mean, to be fair, he could have bubbled some of them, but like, it's their fault. It's not his fault.
Look at all
They're
the
stupid,
bandits.
he's not stupid. That's why they're dead and he's not. Okay, so now let's see the second situation. Here we go.
It's me, I'm tuned in the stream. I'm a viewer.
Okay.
These are pretty quick runs. I thought these took longer. I don't know.
No, they're pretty
Do this solo.
Yeah, I see why now. Oh shit,
What?
this B dude.
What?
How did that happen?
You
Oh,
gotta
goodness.
run.
I don't know how that happened.
There's...
I can't target him either.
I can't do anything to help, yeah, it
Yeah,
sucks.
that's
I got
weird.
pack for you.
That's
That's
smart
alright.
for him to do that.
God, we got feared.
Looks like they're gonna get away.
Keep going.
What if I can distract him, dummy?
He is on
You're
somebody
fine.
else. I'm
Yeah,
guessing
he
it's one
feared
who
us.
feared.
Yeah, he's on the mage. The dude, the mage is gonna block. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jesus.
block it.
He's got to be coming to me now.
We can't target him. Can you vanish
Right.
though?
Yeah, but I don't want to vanish it on somebody else.
Yeah, come on.
Problem.
I,
Just run back.
Kristen, I would...
Hearth,
might
what are you doing? Get the
see
fuck
that.
out of
He's
there.
on the way back. He's on the way
Yeah,
back.
he's on the way back to you,
I'm
Kristen.
hearthing.
I don't think he's gonna make it, dude. That guy's hauling
You have a
ass.
Petri?
I'm not gonna make it. I do have a Petri.
Please,
You have a
fucking
lit?
do it.
If
Go-
you
go from
fucking
Petri.
started...
Please,
Where is
please,
it? Oh my god.
please.
He made it.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
He hit you,
Oh
though.
my god.
No, block. What the fuck was that?
Holy
Beast.
shit.
Is he still running after people or what?
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he is still running after people.
Let's go. Just get to the reset spot.
So once
Wait,
you get
why did they
down
run?
to this
Whoa,
level-
wait, why did they run back up? Wait. Why would they fucking do that?
Will jump down the way that I did.
How?
We're going all the way
Jump
back
down
to
by
that one you
skull.
guys showed at the start, right?
Yep.
Just run out of the instance and reset. What are you doing?
He's like bugged out on the railing, so you guys got lots of time now.
Yes.
Sims, I don't know if you'll be able to.
Just
evade
run
him.
out. What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
He's-
Sorry,
he's
I've never
big
seen
enough.
that happen.
I have never seen this happen. No.
I'm just worried about y'all being in combat.
Dude, this big guy
Yeah.
walks by him and just
Like,
got whopped.
I assume that I'm safe because I got the suit on.
Yeah, probably.
Like
I think
I'm
you
not
may
in
have walked
combat
up
or
too
anything.
early, actually. I think you may have walked up too early.
Yeah. I just don't want to vanish and then. So I'm actually about to jump on the evade spot, I think.
Yeah, go to the evade spot. Go to the evade spot.
I mean, this is an evade spot, but
I'm out of combat. You guys are making me nervous.
I'm in combat as well.
Just zone out of the instance. What are you doing? What are you thinking?
I'm bored in the suit.
Why don't you just zone out? Just get out of the fucking instance.
Get a little
Good here, right?
Oh my god. Well, explain.
yeah,
The
stay on
big
the
red
edge.
guy is running
You're
after
fine.
them.
Just
So now he's not red and he's walking
Oh my god, I
back,
pulled the freaking.
which I assume means he's gonna get back to the front.
Oh my god.
Wait, yo, what did she say?
Which I assume means he's gonna get back.
Freaking.
Now he's not red and he's walking
Oh my god, I
back.
pulled the freaking.
Which I assume means he's gonna get back to the front.
Oh my god, what is going on?
Oh, there's a bunch of other mobs coming now.
You're gonna have to Petri most likely.
I don't have one.
I am too.
Oh,
Yeah,
have
just
one?
Petri.
I'm dropping group.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Oh no.
What the fuck is this?
Why did she run back? She could have left the instance. Why did she run back? She's a girl? No. No. This actually isn't because she's a girl, it's because she's a classic player. The guys are doing the same thing. Look at this guy. What's he doing?
I'm just gonna hearth.
She was on a reset ledge and jumped off because she thought he reset and ass pulled a path. Okay, so he's gonna hard
I'm
fast.
probably dead here.
Wait, she's dead?
Yeah, I'm dead.
Died at level 60. Her last words were 2, please. Well, she got more than that.
Jesus. How do
I'm
you
gonna
not
be honest. I think this is natural selection.
Petri, what the fuck? I've been trying to get a Petri made for 3 days. And beat-ups just never answers.
Come on!
Well, now you can level for 3 days.
Oh.
Okay, and so we're gonna go ahead and now we're going to look at the post about the situation. Okay, so now you've seen what happened, and we are going to look, and we're gonna see what it was. And this is the girl that died. You can see she has the same name as she had on Discord during the overlay in this call right here.
And he's walking
And you
back.
can see her right there. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this here.
DC'd like that.
For transparency, my appeal was approved.
What? That's so...
Really. Thank you, officers, for looking over the video. I am going to take some time to consider whether I want to undelete. I appreciate y'all encouraging me to post it. I was just going to delete my character and go to bed. Heh. It feels weird not to undelete given just how egregious that bug was. It feels weird to undelete because I've never done anything like that before. I don't know. I have some thinking to do. I'm not sure if that was a bug. Like, I don't know if it was. Because, so this is what happened, right? So she talks to him.
You.
Why was she there? Why would you stand there? Are you fucking stupid? Well, I guess we know the answer to that. I am so glad that she died. Because there is nothing that pisses me off more than these, like, brain-dead players that have to move up and get too close to a boss. or get too close to what's going on. Oh, I have to get out. I have to see what's going on. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't. You should have never fucking been there. And everybody else wasn't over there. And you know why? Because they're not fucking stupid. And that's what, it's her own fault. Yes, and she's a healer. It's insane. You shouldn't, is it 20 years ago? Yeah, this is not, read the comments below the appeal. I will in a minute. Somebody says this hurt my soul. Bro, this hurt my brain. He's running away. So this is what I think happened. I guess it made him move away whenever she talked to him, and because she was too close to his aggro range, whenever he ran to the other location as an outcome of the dialogue. Well, let me see what happens. Like, here, let me just see, how does this work? Hunter, Solo, Dire, Maul. Tribute run. Let's see what normally happens here. Okay. So usually he just, hunters can't skip. Hunter skip can't compare. Yeah, I was gonna see what happens if you actually talk to him to see if it changed it at all. Ah! Because my understanding is that he always does that. You should hide in a corner and wait for the boss to walk past you if you don't have a suit? Yeah. Because like if you look at the mini map. You see there's the see Kristen and Sims, they didn't fucking die. You know why? Because they're out of range. But this girl for some reason thought, "Oh, I want to stand close. I want to stand close to the boss." You see that? Cuz you can see it from the mini map. There's her right there. She should have never been there. RP wasn't done. She walked up into aggro range. Yeah. Followed by stealth rogue. Yeah, but the stealth rogue doesn't matter cuz he's stealth. Oh my god, 100% not a bug. I don't think that's what it was at all. She wanted a rat next to him, and the guy was talking to a boss in a suit and got put in combat from that. Well, the other guy didn't die. Hold up, she didn't end up hearthing out? No, do you want to know why she didn't hearth out? Her hearth is on CD, apparently. Which is like, okay, reasonable, but she wouldn't have even been able to hearth out. Ah, that's nuts, man. She didn't drop group. She didn't do anything. And not only that, like, I just can't get over how egregious this is. This is a huge fucking mistake. Because it's like, she ran away and then, bro, she came back. She came back 3 times. Like, look at this.
She doesn't deserve an appeal.
She kept running back. Look, she's in range again.
That's...
What the fuck are you doing standing in range? And obviously this girl is hearthing, so she's gonna know, like, bro, like, if he hits her, she's dead. You can see her right behind him. Oh my, this is making me mad. Just watching it's making me mad. Look at her, and then she turns. What the fuck are you doing? Look at this. What? Oh, no. What are you turning around for? Why did you turn around? What is wrong with you? Look. Let's watch it in slow motion, guys. You want to watch it in slow motion?
Yes.
Here we go. And she's running away. Hold up.
Wait, what did that say?
Let's backpedal for a second. No, shit, dog.
I don't know what that said. What is this?
Oh my god. And what is the fucking hunter doing?
My flag is infinite now.
I just...
Oh.
I usually wouldn't be this brutal about it. But there are two reasons why I'm being absolutely fucking savage with this. Number one is because I have a personal fucking vendetta against players that get too close to a boss or move up. Like, you're supposed to stand back and, like, remember whenever I would put the raid marker and I said anybody that goes past this raid marker gets kicked out of the raid, and I do it?
Perfect time.
I fucking hate that. Oh, it makes me so mad. It is the most annoying shit. Because, like, people just follow directions, do what you're told, play like a bot. That's all. You're not a person. Stop thinking for yourself. That's the worst thing you can do, especially if it's classic WoW. And they I was getting so just mad. I'm not in Ulduar anymore. It's okay. I'm not in Ulduar. Gus can't hurt you anymore. Oh, God. Imran can't hurt you. Yeah. Okay. And the other reason is the fact that she had the audacity to call this a bug. Because do you want to know what my hot take is?
Oh, nice.
If I think that if it actually bugged out, I think she should have been able to appeal. I
Wasn't
do.
a bug.
Because it was a genuine bug. Even though she made mistakes afterwards and she could have overcome the bug, I think that if you die to a bug, that is not in the essence of dying to a mistake in the game. But there wasn't a bug. And we saw that. Not a bug, it's part of the game. Yeah, I think so. She could have made it out. She could have made it out multiple times. She could have left the group and then ghetto hearthed out. Isn't bug just unintended game mechanic? Well, no. I mean, bug is like you fall through the floor and you die to just like you just clip through the ground and you just die. Like, there's plenty of actual bugs in the game, but this just wasn't one of them. Yeah, it was not a bug. So, she ran after into mobs? Yeah. She aggroed the mob before the RP was done? Yes, that's what she did. And she did that because she couldn't wait to just stand back with everybody else. But no, she's special. Well, let's go back and look at this. See you tomorrow. Welcome back. Thank you. I'm quitting the guild. I'm trying to play hardcore. Thanks for everything, y'all. Might as well just appeal everything, to be honest. Since official's coming soon, let us have our fun. I can respect that. It's just not for me. I just won't res if it's going to drive you away, suck. It's not personal to you. It's not your fault the appeal got approved. Well, it's her fault she put the appeal in. Come on. You doing a lot for the community. Wish you the best. Everyone has their own line of what should be approved and what shouldn't. I don't know which bugs are acceptable and which ones aren't. This is my completely unsolicited opinion. I think that if somebody dies to something that's not in their control or a malfunction in the game, counting a death against them is not within the spirit of the game. And so I think appeals are fine. But this was not a bug, and she played exceptionally bad afterwards. It's not a bug. The boss works like that. Yeah, that's why I'd want to see another clip of that boss in PC. But, yeah, I don't know. She was organizing our MC run and doing spreadsheets. Well, good for her. Now she'll have more time to focus on organizing the spreadsheets because she won't be able to play the game. Let's see here. Appeal seems within the guidelines of the entire community. Has followed for years. I wouldn't sweat just one opinion. Hardcore is a personal challenge. No, it's not if you're having other people involved. Okay, honestly, been debating and deleting / rewriting because what's the point? Leadership probably be mad at my perspective. I'm dead, so what does my opinion matter? First, I don't see a bug in this clip. I see Miss B pulling the boss before the suit dialogue is complete. Zomb is wearing a suit, so it makes interacting with the captain funky, and Miss B gets in combat. She safely navigates to a safe spot. At this point, I think the whole thing starts anew. Why the boss had pulled is kind of irrelevant. She knew the boss had pulled. She knew it had padded out of the room back towards the courtyard. She drops down, aggroes the pack in the corner. Boss runs back and aggroes her again and kills her. Sucks, but why is that appealable? Based dot me up. Based as fuck. True, real, accurate, like absolute, like this, just everything is right about what he said. And everybody knows it. Personally think it was appealable until you go to the ledge and made a choice to jump down and pull an extra pack. I don't even see a bug before then. She pulled the boss and yeah, bro, he's not done. He said before the event even started. That's not true though. Look at the combat states again. Combat starts and stops with the rat when it's killed. Combat starts after the boss goes invulnerable, untargetable. Boss hits me, combat drops. Boss hits me again, no combat. That's why the resets, I think that's why the resets didn't work, to be honest. Well, it doesn't matter if the resets worked because you got killed by another mob. You didn't even get killed by the boss. Look, she didn't even die to the boss. She died by a Gordok warlock. It had nothing to do with the boss. So, I mean, like, who cares?
God,
I'm sorry, Miss B, I really am. It's nothing about you, it's honestly not, but I've never seen this appeal approved ever. I knew moving appeals to the guild was fraught with danger because it was open to abuse. This looks like abuse to many people and not just me. They should have had me review every appeal. I would have never made a bad decision. I would never ever make a bad decision on an appeal. And I don't know why they didn't just let me know. Because I would have, I'm gonna be honest, I know a lot about the game. Like, I've been raiding in this game 15 years. Like, I would have never made this mistake. You get bored in 2 weeks? No, I wouldn't. Being able to dictate life and death, to dispense justice or punishment at my own will and discretion, I would never get tired of that. I would do appeals for free. Yeah, content? Yeah, maybe that'd be a good idea. The classic hardcore team, you know what they should do? They should give me the appeals. Let me read the appeals and let me decide. Yeah, let me do it on stream. Let me read them and decide. She should take priority. Yeah, appeals on stream. Exactly. Yeah, Cargos can hit me up if he's interested in it. Yeah, weekly appeal stream? Yeah, do it every day. Maybe like every other day. Like 50 appeals. Knock them out. I like this idea a lot. It sounds really good. I really, really like this idea. This would be perfect. Judgment Day every other day. Yes, exactly. The chat should vote? No. Justice is not a democracy.
Justice is not a
game
democracy.
Better than everybody else, and so it should just be me making the decisions. You know, maybe chat might have some insight here and there, but at the end of the day, it's going to be me. So yeah, it's appeal to you. Yes, we will have public executions. Exactly. Yes, please send me the appeals. Please let me see the appeals. I need this. Anyway. I don't have a 60, one for 2-ish weeks. This looks like abuse to many people, not just me. It didn't look appealable either, but it doesn't affect me either way. Yes, it does. It affects everybody. Using an evade spot to bugs mobs is kind of an exploit and bugging it safe. Just saying you were safe could have frankly just hearthed out. Everyone has a different line. Jumping down because a reset appears to have worked. Boss continuing on its path and then not being true is definitely a bug. It doesn't. I don't even see the extra pack as an issue since Zombard is there and can pick them up. Well, what do you mean Zombard is there and can pick them up? So like, let me get this straight. So you expect the tank, who has 4,800 health. Is that correct? I think that was the number. Oh, 5,000. I guess I was wrong. Yeah, 4,900 health. That was quite close. You expect him to tank all of these mobs? But what do you think's going to happen? And also, if you expected him to do that, why didn't you say for him to do that? Why didn't you say, hey, can you pick up these mobs? I aggroed them. No communication. No awareness. I wonder if she was using nameplates. How can you and Zombard two-person that pack? I don't think you can. Like 4 forms of CC. Okay, so you've got fear and you've got mind control. But if you mind control, then you can't heal the tank. So that's just not, that's not going to happen. And also the fear is, yeah, and then the fear aggroes more mobs. And on top of that, he has a fear and you have a fear, so they DR each other.
Good.
Honestly, I'm disengaging. I've said my piece. You guys do you. I'll do me. I won't res, guys. I'm not coming back. Take the res. I guess I don't understand. See, this is... Bro, what's this fucking ego that these people have? They can never just take an L. You can never just say, hey, guys, I fucked up. I made a mistake. No, and it's not enough. Everybody says, hey, we're okay with it. You know, we personally don't agree, but you're going to do what you're going to do. And then she says, okay, I'm not going to res. But apparently that wasn't fucking enough because she had to sit there and type that shit out because it's not enough to be able to get your character back or be able to potentially get your character back. But you have to make sure you make sure everybody else knows that you were in the right. Oh, how pathetic. Let's see here. I guess I don't understand the appeal is so egregious to you guys. Boss was entirely uninteractive and had appeared to reset but didn't. From the start of the pro to the end,
God,
the
he's
boss
getting
is untargetable,
hunted.
no combat state was complicated factor. You can say it's the exact same thing for charging through the world and drowning or being griefed by a scatter-feigned mob. Those get appealed. I won't res because this is upsetting, I think, but I don't see how officers have deviated either. Personally, I delete. People charge through the world and drown, but they think they can just log off, but they can actually just log off and instantly reset. It's just crazy to me. It's absolutely astonishing that you're approved just res. I really don't want to be the symbol of, like, the guild somehow not being hardcore or anything. It's not her fault. Ultimately, it is and it's not. She should have never appealed. But the officer should have never, like, they were the ones that approved it, right? If they hadn't approved it, then she wouldn't have rezzed, theoretically. Appeal shouldn't be approved? Yeah. Judgment Day again? Yeah, this is Judgment Day Part 2. She's not rezzing because of lashback? You mean backlash? Otherwise she would have? Yeah, it's true. Which is, I mean, I think that's fine. Play the game, appeal, all the points I'm making, but if you're not in charge of the appeal, it really doesn't matter what your stance is. It's either granted or it's not. Yeah, true. Free throw line, the official says it's foul. True. There seems to be a lack of officer communication on this incident. I'm going to jump in here before this turns into a dumpster fire. Apologies if you don't know me, as I died before most of you dinged 60. Here's my opinion. A discussion did not take place amongst the officers between whether or not this appeal should be approved or denied. This decision still needs to take place, and I think a vote is a fair... Wait, what? My appeal was approved... Well, then who approved the appeal? It was a single officer making the appeal decision, jumping the gun before the officer corps decided. And what did the officer corps actually decide, ultimately? What ended up happening? We've got the GM in chat. This is the guy. He says, this death never got appealed. Please, no troll. Interviewing we did not appeal. We voted to not appeal. An officer, what happened to the... Did anything happen to the officer? What do you say? I know you typed something. Let me refresh. He stepped down when I became GM. Well, I think that's fair. Yeah, it seems like the guild actually handled it in a pretty fair way. Yeah, I actually think that's pretty fair. Yeah, okay. Sure. All right. Fair enough. I'm going to type in all caps lock so everyone understands. Yeah, I know. Well, it's louder that way, right? So people can hear you. He lost his jobs because of a female player. I don't know if it's because, like, obviously, like, everybody always has, like, a agenda with, like, this kind of stuff. I'm going to be honest, bro. Like, look, this guild, like, had 5 people die to this, and they were saying they got trolled because they couldn't move out of an AoE. Like, I really don't think that this is an outcome of, like, being simps. I just think it's an outcome of people being fucking garbage. Like, I mean, really. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's be real. Yeah, they're getting griefed? Oh, get the fuck out of here. Just casual players. Yeah, they're not... this isn't a woman situation. This is a clown situation. Death in ZG happened before I became GM, and the story is messy. Well, I'll tell you one thing that was messy is this fucking explosion in this goddamn raid. That was really messy. So, yeah, I don't know what happened. All I'm saying is that if I look at that, who am I going to say who's at fault? Everybody that fucking died. Because you can easily move out of that. Nobody should ever fucking die to that. It is a joke that the mage even got hit by it. That is hilarious. Can't believe it. Bro, this guy took over a Clown of a Guild. Bro, this guy took over a circus. Have fun, man. None of the raiders got GFPPs whenever they asked for them, and we had 3 people with sub 20% active times. Well, why would it matter? I mean, like, you know the way that these NPCs work, right? Is that between, like, at under 50%, there is a chance that they will cast the unstable concoction. Like, it doesn't mean that they will cast it the second they go under 50%. Some of them cast at 10%, some of them cast at 20, some of them cast at 45. Right? So you know that's going to happen, and you need to make an immediate judgment call. Is the damage going to kill the boss before it dies? And again, this is a lack of leadership, because leadership should say stay in or move out. And you can always move out, but you cannot always stay in. It is it is indisputably a management issue. There is no excuse for it. Nothing. Just always move out, yes. Well, no, you don't always move out. Sometimes you can kill them. And if you know that you have the damage, you can kill them. You can always move out, but you cannot always stay in. That's nice. Yes, exactly. That's why I took over, and another prior leadership had no experience. That's pathetic. Yeah. I mean, like, bro, like, honestly, bro, they're doing you a favor, man. This is natural selection. There you go. Maybe now you guys can play the game. Holy shit, man. This is just pissing me off. I read this. Player made hardcore not being legit. What a surprise. Yeah, for sure. Wow, people think cheating in hardcore is whenever you disable the add-on. How surprising is that? For sure. Shocking. Current form of hardcore is just a play date between kids making up their own rules. Has to be enforced by gaming company or nobody else takes anything seriously. I think that most of the appeals are totally fine, and these people appealing themselves is just, it's problematic, and I think the guild acknowledged that, and it got taken care of. I'm going to be totally honest, though, guys. I think this is way more interesting. If we don't have appeal drama, what's the fucking point? Am I crazy here? I love the idea of appeal drama. It's way fucking more interesting than you lose your character and you die. And hey, yo, people might not believe me. Just wait 3 months after Classic Hardcore is out, and then we'll see how many people give a fuck. Yeah, it's like ban appeals. Yeah, it's great content. It's great for the community. It gets everybody talking about the game. Everybody has a fucking opinion about it. It is amazing. This is Judgment Day Part 2. And apparently, the right thing has happened. There we go. That's it. The one true appeal king. Yeah, I will never make a bad decision with an appeal. That's just the truth. I'm sad that people don't come to me to help me for me to help them make the decisions. Yeah, I mean, I would never make a bad decision. The 5th Horseman on Classic WoW. He already made history. He did. He's made history.
7-Eleven. The day the earth stood still. The day that 30...
Oh, it was.
6 very brave hardcore champions were killed in what can only be called an act of hardcore terrorism. Chat, today we have the opportunity to sit down with one of Classic WoW's biggest villains. The man that recently wiped an entire 40-man hardcore raid roster, Tiny Violin. First off, Mr. Tiny Violin, thank you for making the time for this interview. We've been trying to set this up for a couple days. I know you've got a very busy work schedule. How was your day at work today?
It was good. Before we start, though, I'd like to give you a brief introduction for those people out there who don't know me.
Okay.
Please, okay.
Here we go.
So, in Classic,
yeah, this one was an inside job, too, by the way.
Was wronged out of Scarab Lord and ATS.
Wait, what?
So, in Classic, I was wronged out of Scarab Lord and ATS.
There it is. That's right.
I then created 16 accounts.
So this is the villain backstory.
For opposite faction PvP. Dispelling buffs is an intended Blizzard mechanic.
No, it's not. Kevin Jordan literally didn't even know that the buffs were dispellable. He literally said it wasn't. The world buffs, he said they weren't, but that's fine. It's fine. But just to clarify.
I then played with a Blizzard employee named Wolfjob, so he confirmed I was a driving factor in Chrono Boon. So anyone who likes Chrono Boon has me to thank for it. After Classic, I kept playing Vanilla since it's my
just
favorite
harmless
expansion,
travelers.
private servers, Seasons of Mastery, and eventually I found Hardcore.
Yeah, he wasn't dispelling. It wasn't about the buffs. It was about sending a message.
To 60 in Hardcore, and I played with HE Elite for about a year. I made friends with a lot of people in the guild, and I was one of the reasons they got so far. Without me, locks weren't putting up curses, there was no fairy fire, there was no IEA. Some warriors
How the fuck do these people not know how to play the game? It's a one-button game.
weren't even sundering.
Warriors were. What the fuck is going? How are these people, bro? I don't even feel bad anymore. How do you fuck this up?
After every raid, I did a log review and I helped warriors and mages with their rotation. I mean,
What
the mages didn't
rotation?
even know how ignite mechanics even worked. And after raids, I played Scriblio with them. I made a lot of friends in the guild. But eventually, I began to see some corruption within the guild. So the rules at the start were...
Oh, fuck. So the guild was corrupt?
much more strict. You couldn't use non-hardcore tunes for help. For example, you can't use a non-hardcore priest for mind control for sun buff. Some of my friends got
He's
birthed
talking of the sun buff is the war chief's blessing.
booted early on for this exact reason. But once AQNX came into the question, more and more people showed up with Ren buff, but they actually refused to explain how they got it. So I actually learned...
So he thinks that because, and also like Tiny Violin, remember his specialty is world buffs. That's like his area. You know, like whenever they bring in, you know, there's like a TLC documentary about something like some pizzeria in New York, and they bring in like a fat guy with a mustache, and his title is cheese, like you know, 1700s cheese expert. Well, this guy here is classic World of Warcraft world buffs expert. So he would know more than anybody else.
A lot of them had actually died and they just altered their add-ons to keep playing. The rules were different for different people. So I brought up the Bren buff issue in Discord and the response from leadership was hardcore server soon. On top of this, the loot was
I mean, realistically, they can't, like, you can't micromanage what people do outside of raid time, and you can only control, like, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna do if somebody got the Rend Blackhand buff? Like, what, like, how can you like realistically arbitrate this?
Being very corrupt. There's leaked audio of loot councils stating, you know, I want these items and taking it. The same players who didn't even understand Ignite
There's leaked audio. Where is it? But okay.
mechanics were in charge of this loot council. So tension in HE Elite was getting high. People were unhappy. I would call out bad players in Discord. People would praise me. Others would hate me. It became polarizing.
Man. We used to have a rule back in the old days that every single night that I would raid lead, someone would quit the guild. It was like a quota.
Eventually, I realized the true spirit of vanilla hardcore was lost, and we weren't doing an official hardcore run. None of this would have been possible on an actual hardcore server, since majority of the guild had actually cheated. I started warning my friends that Judgment Day was near, and I was looking to put...
That's smart. Judgment Day.
...a stop to what I thought was fake hardcore.
Yeah.
I actually
That makes
messaged
sense.
all my friends and told them beforehand there would be an incident in tonight's next.
So...
And I actually do have proof of people that were warned. Maybe they didn't believe me, but I can show you off stream some screenshots.
So did he tell him, like, don't come to school today? Is that pretty much what he said? Oh my god!
After the wipe, a lot of people were relieved. I got some thank you and I got some death threats. But the corruption
He
didn't
said they were relieved. That's the best part about it. Finally, we've been released from this torment.
stop there. After a lot of the HC characters died, they
Yeah.
started entering BGs. They actually died again since the game was over for them. But then Dell had a change of heart and decided to go back into KT. So these people actually told them, that they went into BGs and died, but he just brushed it off and just said he wanted to go back into Nax. Like, this was my problem with the situation. It was truly never hardcore. It was a fake accomplishment the entire time.
Well, of course it is, because it's not an accomplishment to begin with, but okay, sure. I mean, that's my perspective on this shit, bro. This game's a joke. It's a one-button game with one-button bosses. Who cares? But, alright.
Okay, let's unpackage all of that. We're going to do that over the course of this interview. Thank you for showing up once again. Over the last 2 or 3 days, I've seen people dismiss your behavior as you're a depressed, hate-filled, basement-dwelling psychopath. Would you say any of that is true as a starter question?
Oh, not at all. I'm like the happiest person ever.
I would be too if I was him. Bro, like, I saw his channel today, he had 600 viewers. Bro, like, you run an ad at 600 viewers, you make money. That's like over $100. I was never happier in my life than whenever I was griefing people. The one thing that could always bring me joy was somebody else's lack of it. No, I understand this very well.
I just, I love playing vanilla WoW, and I have a blast doing it.
Okay. I've also seen people calling you the Osama bin Laden of hardcore community, and that you're a
that makes sense, because, like, you know, the 7-Eleven thing.
Or terrorist.
9/11.
What's your response to that?
I don't think so. Like,
I mean, he's basically Osama bin Laden. Yeah, I think that, you know, it's kind of the same thing, right? I mean, it's got to be kind of close, right? This is kind of like, it's basically, yeah.
I was really helpful with the community. Like I mentioned earlier, like, I would help them with, like, log reviews. I was really helpful with the community. I don't know why they would call me a terrorist.
Okay.
As I've said, I don't think he's like a terrorist, so I think he's like a farmer, right? Or like a livestock farmer, where, like, you raise cattle up and you slaughter them. That's what it's really like.
This was not an accident. You were memeing a little bit. You were joking around when you made the comments about being in the wrong corner. This was intentional, yeah?
So, like, even though this is clearly not a grief, but the problem is everyone would try to mass report me. So, in my best interest, I had to pretend it was the wrong corner. But Judgment Day was coming, and I talked to a few people I trusted the most, and I had to play it off as a raid accident, but at the end of the day, this was Judgment Day.
So it wasn't really a grief, and this is actually a very good point that he brings up. He wasn't really griefing them, it was just simply Judgment Day. So, I mean, is that griefing? Well, no. I mean, judges are in real life. Are they griefing people? No. They're two different things. It's a good point.
Okay, so just to be clear, considering it was Judgment Day, this was not an accident. Judgment Day was premeditated.
Well, it's not griefing. It was just simply, like I said, Judgment Day.
Yeah. That makes sense.
All right, yeah, griefing, that
right, because it's just like, because griefing, how is, I mean, is God griefing on Judgment Day? No. No, that's what he does.
Word has got a lot of nuance to it. I'm not sure how to define it. I'm sure the word griefing is terminologically in the eye of the beholder. But prior to this raid, you knew that you were going to do this.
So it's, I like to give you an analogy. So, like, you know, like killing a killer. Is it really a bad thing if you kill another killer?
Man, that's a deep one. Yeah, now we're talking the ethics of death sentence. You said that other people knew in this raid.
That's a very good fucking point. I said an eye for an eye, brother. Is it? Yep, there it is. Because it's not griefing. It was just Judgment Day. It was like it was something that just needed to happen. It doesn't really matter who did it. It matters that it happened.
That Judgment Day was going to happen. Is that true?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I can show you screenshots of stream, and I warned my friends in the stream that I don't know if they believe me or.
A small violin played a sad song in the hall from Naxxramas. Horseman massacre. Wrong corner. Every man's dead. Never return to life. Stone drink cannot save you. Careful from the yellow light.
Not, but they were warned beforehand.
Okay, and so the people that were warned, were these people that you were friends with or that had been kind to you, or did you... How did these people figure out?
Yeah, he told them not to go to school that day.
They were just like they were good players. We had a kind of a similar mindset. You know, we wanted to min-max our characters. You know, we wanted to do well. They were just like cool people that I like genuinely enjoyed hanging around.
Okay, and you're not comfortable saying any of these names publicly right now, but you'll show me afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you don't want to give away that you're co-conspirators. I mean, that's going to make you look bad. Yeah, first rule of Fight Club.
Okay. Do you think any of these people you told were sort of on your side and that they were happy that Judgment Day was going to happen? Or were they like, hey, bro, I hope that Judgment Day does not happen? What was their take?
Honestly, I think they were relieved. Like, there was a lot of issues with the guild.
Because if you live in a world full of sin, and sin is all around you, and you're forced to live in sin, there must be a time where you know that Judgment Day is coming, and you offer your body up to God and say, God, please save me in whatever way you deem necessary.
With the cheating, people weren't happy about that. You know, the favoritism, how some people got special treatment. Like, how can this person do this, but it's not okay for the rest of the community? The loot was super corrupt. Basically, like, I guess it might have been mixed feelings for them. Like, at the end of the day, like, they understood why it was done. I believe that they
Well, that's
understood
the thing, right? It's the Old Testament. Like, let's be honest. God is a dick. He's a much bigger asshole than Satan is. But you have to understand that it's part of his plan.
Needed to be done. Like, I'll give you an example. A hunter got badge of the Swarm Guard. He got the choker from AQ40 and badge of the Swarm Guard. Like, the loot was like completely fucked. Like, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, so you would say...
I don't think that's a big deal. Like, badge of the Swarm Guard, who cares? The game's so easy, you're gonna kill every boss in 20 seconds anyway.
The reason why Judgment Day was necessary is because of corruption within the hardcore elite community and also selective enforcement of the hardcore rules. Is that pretty much why Judgment Day was necessary?
Absolutely, it was ruining the spirit of vanilla.
There it is.
It's not real hardcore.
It is now.
Okay. Switching topic here for a minute. Okay, I'll let you go ahead if you have something
Like, these players would not survive on a real hardcore server.
Uh-oh. So this is like, again, this is like, so he's saying like natural selection.
When did he first get the idea to do in Judgment Day? Was it the full year?
Let me ask you this. I've seen some screenshots floating around of Team Muggsy giving you some information regarding this event happening.
Yeah.
To what degree is Team Muggsy involved in this?
So, Team Muggsy was saying a lot of things, like playing flashbang sounds, and he got mad I didn't give him credit. But if you look at the timestamp, he was messaging me 5 minutes before poll. Like, he just wanted his 15 minutes of fame.
Oh, so you're saying Team Muggsy was sort of like...
So people were saying that Team Muggsy was the actual mastermind, but no, he wasn't the mastermind. Tiny Violin was the actual mastermind, and Team Muggsy was just trying to coattail onto there.
Latching on to Judgment Day after it had already been planned.
Oh, absolutely. Like, someone obviously told him it was about to
Yeah.
happen, and so while the raid leader was explaining the fight, he was messaging me on Discord. So like,
Uh-huh.
he like the stuff he was saying, like the flashbang and stuff, like the outcome would have been the same, regardless. With
He says, I think they will trip out when my mob is in the middle of Mal, but whatever, this is the best strat. If you have threat, it will look very normal. They will be very focused on Thane. So taunt, count to 5, move to Thane. Do I stand on Thane? Just be near the stack. Man, they're gonna be so choked. This is gonna be amazing.
whether he messaged me or not.
Okay, I just want to double back for one moment real fast. I'm stepping away from Team Muggsy. So, you said you've been playing in Hardcore Elite for how long? 6 months or so?
Yeah, over 6 months.
Okay, and
the
so
better
when
part
you
of a year.
first entered the Hardcore Elite community, was Judgment Day your intention, or did you just feel like it needed to happen after things you had experienced after already being in the community?
Oh, no, God, no. Like, when I first joined, like, I'm just a vanilla WoW enjoyer.
So he was a good boy, a honest, just God-fearing, American Christian world buff dispeller that had no bad intentions. But when he saw the evil and the sin in the soul of this community, he knew that there had to be divine retribution. All it takes is one bad buff.
Like I said, it's my favorite expansion. I love WoW. It's just all these things started to happen, and I just, like I said, I just started to realize, like, it wasn't real hardcore. Like, I made friends, and I still plan on playing with some of these people in you know, the next iteration, whether it's Psalm 2 or you know, official hardcore. But I just started realizing that this wasn't really hardcore. Like, these achievements and accomplishments were meaningless.
Now, let me ask you this. I've seen rumors swirling around that you were actually financially incentivized to carry out and execute Judgment Day. People are pointing to you receiving a bunch of, I don't know, maybe like 300 gifted subs or so after Judgment Day had been executed. Were you
Well, I don't think that he was paid off for it. I just think people were happy that it happened. I don't think he was paid off. No way. Sorry, it was an ant that got on my monitor. I had to cut him in half with the scissors. But we got him. It's good.
paid off by someone to do this?
No, I did this because they were ruining the spirit of hardcore and vanilla. Like, what they were doing was not right. I even told people not to give me subs because it was never about the money. Like, I've been streaming for years. I'm not a nobody. I'm a small to medium-sized Twitch streamer. And I'll give you an example of someone like Crix. For someone like Crix to say I'm a nobody is false. It's never been about getting popular. I actually used to like Crix, and I watched his streams, but the guy is going around all over social media. I see him on Reddit, on YouTube videos, every Twitch chat that talks about me. I don't know what I did to him. Maybe he voted for Joe Biden or something and I offended him, but he's going around saying I had no followers before. He's saying I was a nobody. In reality, I already had a decent following. I was a small to medium streamer. Usually had...
Let's see. Apparently, he was on a spider web. I didn't even know this, but I had a spider in my, he's been living in my monitor. He's dead now. I mean, the thing is, like, he streamed kind of regularly, and he streamed apparently more in April 2021, and I feel like, yeah, I mean, 20 viewers, that's pretty good. And you can see, look at the titles. Death equals Petri. Death equals Petri. Death equals Petri. Nax GDKP diaper run. Let's read some of these some more of these titles here. Do we have any other titles? So you can see how he began to get disillusioned. You see how this is? And it was somewhere, like maybe it wasn't 6 months, because he put death equals delete. But then something happened where it was death equals Petri.
Around 100 viewers during my HC streams. So it's disrespectful for someone to say, you know, oh, he's a nobody streamer. And, you know, it would actually demotivate a lot of small streamers to hear something like that.
Tiny Violin, who are you supporting in the upcoming 2024 U.S. presidential election?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm from Canada, so...
Oh, you're Canadian, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think a Canadian would be capable of this, actually. It's actually surprising. I wouldn't have expected that.
Let me ask you this. So you're saying you were not paid any real life money to carry out the attack. So the idea is anyone that subbed or gifted subs to you as a result of this Judgment Day execution, these are just people that are in favor of this having happened. Yeah.
Well, so, like, these players are going back into Nax after dying in Battlegrounds. Like, what do you think about that?
Let me put it this way. I am happy we're getting official hardcore servers.
Am I the only person who like doesn't really think it matters that much? Like, I've always said before that, like, I think that, like, getting griefed and losing your character is, like, kind of cringe. It's, like, not really supposed to happen. So, like, if they go in and they do a battleground or something like that, like, why do battlegrounds count in the first place, right? It's just weird. I don't know. I think it's just, like, I think that people's rule system with hardcore classics is, like, very distorted.
On which there will be no appeals or resurrections.
You should be able to do BGs. Yeah, I think you should be able to.
You know, here's actually a great follow-up question. What are your plans for the upcoming official hardcore servers? Do you plan on future Judgment Days on the official hardcore servers?
Mm-hmm.
No, so I actually, like, absolutely not. I plan on leading the Horde. I have an entire army that will follow me there. Like, right now, I'm currently managing 2 Nax raids on White Main Era. We started doing Nax with people literally in green gear a month ago. Like, we're doing an hour, 20-minute Nax, and we started from nothing, and we'll be doing sub 60-minute runs soon. Like, we're the best and fastest guild on Era, and like, it took other guilds 2 years to get where we are now. Like, we're gonna roll Horde, and, you know, we're gonna crush it over there.
What would you say to the thousands, perhaps even millions of people that are tuning in right now that are condemning your actions, thinking that you should be banned for what is allegedly griefing in their mind? What would you say to those people?
Okay.
Well, it's not griefing. Like, that's the thing. Like, what I did was not griefing. Like I mentioned, it's Judgment Day. Like,
very good point. Yeah, how could it be griefing if it's Judgment Day? Do you see kind of what you see the argument there? Because how could it be if it's something? How could it be one thing if it's something else?
Honestly, it had to be done, and
yeah,
anyone that experienced, like, anyone that experienced, like, what was actually going on would understand. Like, people from the outside.
Right. So it's like, wasn't even grief. Like, honestly, like, if anybody should get banned for griefing, it's the rest of the people in the guild, because they're the ones that were not really playing hardcore. They were the ones that were filing appeals and stuff. So, like, if anybody should get banned, it should be them. He's the only person that shouldn't get banned.
They just hear one side of the story. They just, you know, hear I'm a griefer, and
yeah,
they believe it, but it's just not true. It's not griefing.
Okay, so it's not griefing, but if it was, they deserved it. Is that what it is?
It's just Judgment Day. Like, Alex Sensual was right, and all these guys were cheaters. Like, there were a bunch of phonies, and, you know, someone had to do it.
Somebody had to do it. And so really, it was like it was a force of nature. It needed to happen. Somebody was going to do it. Somebody needed to do it. So is it really his fault for doing it? when it was going to happen anyway.
Do you think Judgment Day having happened
Yeah.
empowers other not other, because you're not a griefer. Do you think it empowers future griefers?
I mean, there's always going to be griefers out there. I mean, there's, you know, probably going to be copycats that, you know, regardless whether this happened, there's always people out there that are sick in the head and, you know, are going to try to ruin people's fun. But in the long run, like, guilds have learned their lesson. Like, they can't cheat or there will be consequences. So, you know, short term, you know, maybe it had some negative impact, but long term, I really do believe it will save the community.
So he basically, like, they died for everybody else to live. To see, like, and so what he's saying is that if your guild in hardcore is doing things that are unethical, wrong, sinful, or immoral, it is not your option, but your responsibility to ruin the raid. It's like that is what, because it's not even really you doing it. It's just that it's happening.
Okay, and so I think we might have already kind of touched on this a little bit, but coming off on the official hardcore
for the
servers,
rest
do you
of
think that
humanity,
this sort of dungeon or raid griefing will continue to be a problem?
I don't think so. Like who, like, people like to talk about like a long con or whatever, but like, who's gonna invest that much time, play with people this long, like with the intent to grief them? Like,
most of the time, I don't think that's what happens. I think what happens is that somebody gets passed over. Like, this is what happened with me one time. Is I did a GDKP raid, and the raid didn't go the way I wanted it to. So what I did is I tried to get paid twice from the guild, from the raid leader, and he wouldn't pay me twice. Because you know how you get in line, and like then they would trade you? Well, I got in line again. And so he didn't give me the money 2 times. And so then I went into trade chat and I started spamming that he was a scammer and they wouldn't give me any money. Eventually he paid me the second time. And why did I do this? Because the raid took too long. It pissed me off. We should have killed more bosses. We didn't. The guy was an idiot. Fuck him. Because fuck him. That's why. That's right. So whenever I joined the raid, I planned on just doing the GDKP and everything going
he's
well.
just slaughtering my guys.
But because of what happened, my priorities changed. Yes, in the eyes of the law, yes, I have committed a great crime. But in the eyes of God, I am amongst him. Yep.
I just don't see it personally. Like, I mean, there's some sick people out there. I don't know, but I think, you know, I think it'll be fine on official servers.
And just to be clear, that's not what you did. You did not engage in a long con. This was not your.
But this is what I'm saying, though. It's like the long con idea. That's the point. Is that, you know, I wouldn't really do this to a guild. But if I didn't get Ash Kandi, and that, like, a hunter got it instead, at that point,
everyone, sergeants in
it
charge.
might be a different situation.
Plan from day one. You were just a man that had been pushed too far.
Like
and
Ash's
broke.
Valar,
It's yeah, like I said, it was just you know, it was a fake hardcore. It wasn't real. The achievements were nothing. Like, you know, the first guild to kill KT deserves to do it on an official server that, you know, is a regulated server. You can't cheat the rules.
Have you heard? I actually don't know if this is true. Have you heard this idea that this raid that you wiped the other day, sorry, that Judgment Day wiped the other day, they're just going to continue and go and try to kill KT? What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I think it's ridiculous.
Corrupt complexity, corrupt admins, savior, tiny violin, brought justice. crybaby hardcore players. Judgment Day. Based Chad Violin. I think that that's what they should have done. Like, they definitely should have. They should have said, listen, because it was how they reacted. Like, if this was me and it had happened to me, I would have just said, like, well, this is a grief. We're not going to count this one. It's not a real death. Let's just do it again tomorrow after we get buffs again. And I would have just blown it up. Be like, all right, guys, see you tomorrow. And that's it. So, like, the fact that they took it so seriously, I think is what really made the community hate them. How's that a grief? It was a grief. Guys, it was a fucking grief. He obviously was. That's what he was doing. This is my perspective, is that the spirit of a hardcore game is that you can only die to things that are your fault. And I would, if I thought somebody got griefed, I would not hold the death against them. I would not. That's where I stand on the topic. Now, we're never going to get appeals in hardcore official, so it doesn't really matter. But that's where I would stand. If I think somebody got griefed and they died to a person with malicious intent, then I wouldn't count the death against them. Because if I did, then I would be being used as a tool to exact somebody else's retribution, which is not necessarily what I would want to be. So that's why I would do that. However, it doesn't really matter what I want to do. Because at the end of the day, like, Blizzard is going to do it the way they want to do it. They don't give a fuck. So that's it. Yeah, they don't care. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing this stuff happening in official hardcore. This is going to be awesome. This is way more, like, I mean, what's more entertaining? Watching them kill a boss or watching them die on a boss? I don't know. Why do you watch NASCAR?
Like, these players went into Battlegrounds. The same people that said, we're never going to do raid appeals, now all of a sudden they're doing raid appeals. It just shows they don't care about the spirit of vanilla. Like,
yeah, I disagree with this, like, on a fundamental level. I think that dying in a battleground isn't the same as dying out in the open world or in a raid. Like, I don't think that they're the same thing. It's a completely different function of the game. But sure, it's like saying logging out is dying because your character disappears. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Like, first of all, you're appealing a death, a raid death that, you know, they claim is griefing, and then they step into Battlegrounds and they die 20 times in, you know, Battlegrounds. Like,
yeah,
like how can these players, like, sleep at night knowing that they've
exactly.
died?
How can they even sleep at night doing this? It's fun for viewers like you, but for the players dying from griefers, it's not fun. They want to die how it's intended, by mistakes. Well, they did make a mistake. They made a mistake by playing a game that's managed by a company that has a hands-off policy on everything. You made a mistake by playing a Blizzard game and expecting it to be anything less than a joke. Anything more than a joke, excuse me. Like, just by going on and playing that realm at all, you are a fucking idiot.
20 times in a Battleground.
What are your thoughts on the current Petri Flask meta?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's not gonna like this one.
I honestly, like, I think it's kind of, like... So I don't mind Petri Flasks.
I don't think Petri Flasks are problematic at all. I don't mind them at all. I think they're fine.
Thing that I don't like is you can leave the group and get magically teleported
yeah, I think that's
to your Hearthstone location. So I understand it's in the game. I'm not a big fan of it, but I mean, I understand if it's like an intended Blizzard mechanic. Like, I understand that it's totally fine to use it. Like, I honestly have no problem with, like, Bubble Hearth or anything. Like, if you can do it in the game, like,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's fine for people to use it.
Okay, and so presumably you chose Four Horsemen specifically because of the way that Petri Flask interacts with the stacking debuffs, right? Was that part of your judgment here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. The chain beam is GG's. It was all calculated.
Of course it was.
Okay. And once again, so what are your personal plans for the upcoming hardcore servers?
Like I said, I'm gonna lead the horde. I'm gonna bring my army over there, and you know, it's gonna be it's gonna be challenging, obviously, on horde side, but we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna try to, you know, clear as much content as we can.
Yeah, I mean, so he's just really trying to have fun in hardcore WoW. He's not trying to have fun in appeal core WoW.
Quickly, considering you died during Judgment Day as well, have you deleted your hardcore character on Classic Era?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
It's over.
There it is.
Because I saw a screenshot.
Because remember what happened with Jesus? Is that Jesus also had to die to cleanse the sins of mankind. And then he left this world. You could say his character was deleted. Do you remember that?
Where Calamity had invited you to actually continue on in Naxxramas with them.
I think she was just memeing, but yeah, like that character's deleted. To be honest, I might transfer the character to Whitemane. Like, it doesn't matter. It's that whole server to me is just like a fake hardcore server at this point.
Let me ask you this. Considering that you have sort of a known... well, let me ask you first another question. I'm seeing clips of you where you're purging world buffs, you're multi-boxing 9 or 10. How many accounts do you multi-box?
I had... I think I would stream about 16 accounts at the same time.
Jesus.
They were, like, it...
I gotta go. I'll be back.